been a little while since we tested a bike, but the time has come to step on board the Cervelo S5 of 2019. We're going to present the review of the Cervelo S5 in a series of clips. First comes the unboxing. We'll join Chris and Nash for the build at Park Bikes, and then we'll get out on the road and see how it handles and compares with the many other bikes we've tested over the years.
Yeah, we've sold Cervelo for 6 years since we opened, and this new bike that we're talking about today, it's innovative. It's redesigned. It's smooth. It's light. It's kind of taken the aero bikes up to the next level. It's smoother to ride, and it's really quiet as well.
And from a bike shop owner's perspective, what's the thing that pushes the market to invest in something that's worth about $15,000?
Maybe achieving that next level. There was all these beautiful aero, fast, integrated good-looking bikes, but now they're starting to get lighter as well, which is cool.
Alright, I'm back behind the box, and that's because we're going to start doing some bike tests again, and I've got the Cervelo S5. It's one with red eTap, so it's a group set I'm familiar with, and it's a brand that I'm familiar with. But it's been a while since I've been on a test bike. But now we're just going to do some unboxing, pop it in the workshop at Park Bikes, and we're going to get Chris to work on it and give us some commentary from a mechanic's perspective. It's an S5, it's an anticipated product, it's got a lot of new system integration with a fancy handlebar design, and it's got red eTap. I don't know the colour of it, I don't know the wheels, and I don't know the component spec beyond SRAM Red. So let's have a look and see what's inside. It's worth noting that if you're interested in the Pro Peloton and the products they use, that this is the bike that's going to go to Team Sunweb for 2019. It's going to be debuted in the Pro Peloton in 2019 with the likes of Tom Dumoulin and Michael Matthews. When the bikes get rolled out with the team, we'll make a point of having a chat with Michael and a couple of the guys from the team and see what they think about it and how it differs from their Giant. It's worth noting that I'm going to talk about how it compares with my existing bike. My existing bike is the one that I've been riding for a bit over a year now. That's a simple Focus KO, but it has SRAM Red just like this bike. It's a rim brake, traditional axle, very rudimentary bike, and I still love it. It's got aluminium wheels. I've ridden all sorts of bikes. I know what the high end is like, I know what the low end is like, and my bike suits me perfectly. This is super duper high end, and we'll see what it looks like as I do the unboxing. So, never look back. So, we'll have a look at this later. First thing I can tell you is that it's not a comfy seat tube like I've had. I think the one on my Focus is a 27.2, and I know from hours and hours on the home trainer and looking down between my legs that there's a fair whack of give in my 27.2 post. That's not going to happen with this because we have an aero, or rather a bit of a teardrop shape, and I think, just going on the quick glance at the box, we're going for the trend of a shorter saddle. It looks like the shape of a specialised power saddle, but it's now from Pro Logo. So everyone's playing the game and going a little stubbier. And I know from experience that that's a great concept. My personal saddle is an Astute, which I love, and it's been branded underneath with a Ride logo, which just sort of shows my colours. But just at a quick glance, I think I'm going to like how this feels under my bum. As we do the unboxing, I'm going to tell you little things that I notice about the bike that differ from ones in the past. And we've already talked about the saddle. It's a bit shorter than usual, or it has been common in years. But another element that's worth noting is this little wedge that's taken out of the base of the saddle, or the seat post. Now there's some logic behind this, and that is that the seat tube of the Cervélo S5 is curved, and this will slot down close to it. And in the past on the S5, I've seen this being hacksawed. It was a bit of an ad hoc approach, and I'm glad to see that they've done a little bit of refinement for the new version. It's a great looking seat post. It's very slender. As for the rest of the bike, I'm just going to tell you as I pull things out what we've got to deal with. So, SRAM Red, it's the battery charge kit. It's a huge box for a couple of little parts, and it's a very simple system. You put the cable in here. Front and rear we know are the same, so it's a very easy to use system. The charge lasts for ages. I've never gone flat with mine. Watch little culprits at the coffee shop. They might want to take those off your bike and play a trick on you, and you might ride off without them and no ability to change gears. But forget about those comics. And I'll just pack that back up, and that'll be good to go again in the workshop.
The best thing about SRAM, I think, is when you run out of battery, you can just put a new one in. So unlike Shimano, you have to go home and charge it. If you're out on the road and you do run out of battery, you can just swap one over. You can carry a spare in your saddlebag, and you can just swap it over.
We continue to see what comes next, and essentially it's the bike. Let's see if we can get this out of the box nice and cleanly. Absolutely perfectly packaged. Already it feels like a lightweight, there's not much to that. So let's see what we get. Thank you, box. We see some quality control. I also note that it's a 54 centimetre. I'll go through the size of availability for the S5 in a little while, but for now we'll just put that aside and get to unpacking it. I think this is basically time-lapse zone. Not everyone's going to see this part of the build process. I think someone who spends $15,000 on the bike is going to be interested in it, but they might not see it. They're going to order it, bike's going to come in, and hopefully they'll just ride away a happy customer. But I think it's important to document this process because it explains how much care and attention the bike company puts into packaging the bike. This is very neatly assembled, and the good thing about it, and the reason it's worth referencing, is that the bike doesn't get damaged in transit. So that is one of the elements of the higher end bikes. So these wheels come with the Dura-Ace and SRAM Red ensembles, and they're a little deeper than the other wheels which are on this bike, which is an Ultegra one. That's one behind me that's been pre-built by the guys at Park Bikes. And in time, we'll watch Chris put the disc on this. At this point, there should be a bit of oohing and ahhing going on as I unveil the finish. I can tell you that that's largely a gloss finish, and I think that we might see a little bit of matte here and there. This one is an all black, well, with a bit of grey. But I think this is going to make it feel a lot more like a Cervélo in about 2 seconds' time. And I get this, oh yes, ooh, and so we see a little curvature here to allow the front wheel. It's very compact, and you see why here you need the wedge out of the seat post. But we'll see if that needs cutting to fit my dimensions. I'm interested to see the tyres. They're 25mm from Continental, the famous GP4000s, and they come in very tight to the frame. But I've been told that these fit a 28mm tyre. This is the key element of the bike, or certainly the point of difference, and that is it's an integrated fork. We've seen a design like this for years on Look bikes, but it's a rethink of the traditional steerer. And I'm interested to see how the handlebars come together. But this is obviously how they do a lot of the cable hiding. So we're going to see how that comes together with the most innovative handlebar design. All right, at a glance, inside and out, fantastic looking bike. As I stand here amongst the wealth of packaging, I get to the last element of the puzzle, and that is the handlebar. The SRAM eTap lever for hydraulic disc brakes. It's a little bit different to what I'm used to. The handlebars are super sleek, and we'll see how that comes together with the integrated innovative stem. Good looking handlebars, and here I will now show you this, the key difference is that you have no central stem, but these fixing plates, and you pretty much know the reason why. So we'll have a look at that in a little while in the workshop. But they're nice and narrow. I think there are 42 going on feel, and that's exactly how I like it. And this is the last little bit of the unboxing. Instruction manuals. Chris even said that he read that once. With integrated bars, you need an integrated computer mount. Continuing through the package, we have found it, the anticipated stem, which is ridiculously light. It's basically, you'd almost pass on by if you didn't know it was such an integral part of the bike. Now, I've been told by the distributor, don't think that just because it's an integrated stack that it can't come in height-specific measurements. So we'll learn a bit more about that. I've taken my measurements to the bike shop, and I can tell you straight away that that fits in incredibly neatly with not even any planning. That's just literally straight out of the box, my first sighting, and it's really quite tidy. We've got some little channels for the cabling under here, and I'm really interested to see how that comes together. But my first glance and my first real appraisal is that that's just a fantastic piece of kit. So there's some reflectors, which is part of Australian standards. A completely useless piece of kit. More instructions. SRAM, 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 various languages. Lots and lots and lots of instructions. All about disc and hydraulic brakes, and that's why we come to see a mechanic. So thanks to the guys at Park Bikes once again. Damn, that's a lot of paperwork. That's pretty much the unboxing complete. Let's put it on the work stand and see what comments Chris can come up with to tell you more about the bike.